on through your reading.
All right, well, let's get started. Good morning, everyone. Let's read the IDA's mission. IDA's mission is to drive economic growth and prosperity by preparing shovel-ready sites for development, including commercial enterprise, diverse housing options, workforce development, and tourism. First order of business is to approve the minutes to the March 10 meeting. Would somebody like to make that motion?
I'll make that motion. Second.
Greg, Joe Centerman. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No, motion carried. Okay. Moving on to your budget report. Send on the revenue side, we received $1,440 from our land lease with R&R Farms. R&R Farms, when we were looking at the new agreement, R&R realized that R&R Farms did not pay us for the second portion of their rental for last year. So they provided that $825. And then they prepaid for this year's, which has been reduced because of the amount of acreage reduced at Tryon, for $615, and we will discuss that today as part of the agenda. We also received our $500 lease payment for the Midas building from Lot Holdings, and you can see the investment earnings for the insured cash sweep. Under the expenditures, executive director's salary and the CFO salary. The CFO is paid quarterly. We had our payment to the Weston Company for the audit. We have also received the second portion of their payment to be completed. You'll see that next month for $3,500. I purchased an IDA fleece vest and some custom pins for the IDA for $61.69. We paid our New York State EDC membership. And then we had 2 invoices for website maintenance and hosting. Under the Tryon Park expenditures, we had our NYMAR payment. And then the CT mail and EDP, those are for the consultant fees for the Fast New York Power Up Grant. So those are, we had 2 invoices from CT mail and 1 from EDP. Questions on the budget report?
The expenditures for our consultant without finished now, and Carol's not. Working.
That's correct. Yep.
March 31st. Right?
That's correct. Yep. And she had, I think, about a half hour of time in the last month. So, she basically just waived that. And I think it was obviously whatever you see there is what we paid her in total. So it's not less than less than we budgeted.
Yeah, very good.
Okay. Somebody like to make a motion to approve the budget report?
I'll make that motion.
Mike, your second?
I'll second.
Dan, further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No? Okay. All right, the committee reports, monthly benefit reconciliation, which Dave Demore reviewed, I believe. And he did note that everything was in order with that. I'd like to move to our county reports. We have Mr. Roll today.
Good morning, everybody. In our meeting yesterday, a couple of quick items. We're starting the process of, with the sheriff's department, text to 911, which is a nice system to have once that's installed. If you use the Old State Road Bridge in Ephrata, you won't be using it for a while, at least starting the process of replacing that. Airport building and perimeter fence work will be starting soon. We're early stages of that, but we're getting that rolling. We did a couple of things, send messages to the state. One is to oppose legislation that would grant leases or easements for renewable energy installations on reforestation areas. The state is looking into that. The other is to tell the state if you make changes to tier 6, you should pay for it. Because there's a danger that some of those changes, if they're approved and they're still being discussed in Albany, will be passed on to the counties. And that will be expensive. So trying to let them know. And the last thing is you have in your packet an update on the DRI project, Gloversville. Just thought you guys might want to see what that looks like and who's doing what.
Color chart here.
And that's my report. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to ignore them.
Right, so this, the DRI, project tracking sheet was presented at, by Ron Peters at the last ED&E committee meeting, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So we're told consistently that Gloversville is doing better than many other communities.
Yeah.
With the DRI work.
Well, there's a lot of blue here, so that's good.
Yeah. A lot of blue.
All right.
The sports bar is no longer on there. The Capanos.
Capanos on New York lunch either.
Yeah, Salem
I
is-
believe the final ones that, he decided he wasn't moving forward. If you wanted additional intel, Jen Donovan is on
Yeah.
top of all of this and can
Yes.
right off the top of her head, but I'm pretty sure there was like 3 Capano ones and he's decided not to move forward. So I think Jen is working with state to see if that money can go to another project. Either projects that are already going or another one that was like next in line but not picked in the first go around. They're it's kind of new territory, so they're trying to figure out where those monies are gonna go.
Okay. Okay, the CRG report, we have Mr. Punching. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. And the only thing that I see is in your packet as well. So I'll just hit some of the high points that Ron spoke to me about. He had the company obtained funding through the APA Ag program. CRG has met with half of the city council for Gloversville to start developing a short and long-term strategic plan. The CRG has developed a film production package for potential projects as well. And looking to move forward with additional brownfield phase ones once temporary access agreements are completed for the city of Johnstown and the village of Broad Auburn. They're also working with Glove City Loss to fill that up and get those leases in place. Well, those are some of the high points. If you have any questions, I can do my best to answer and we'll take them back around.
Okay, any questions for Mike? Okay. All right, if none, at this time, I would like to call for an executive session for the proposed acquisition, sale, lease of real property. Would somebody like to make that motion?
I'll make it.
And Sue, is there a second?
Second.
Is that Joe Gillis?
Simeon.
Samuel, okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carried. We are in executive session. If
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You stay.
For you, Steve.
Yep. Okay, back to our main agenda here.
I've got a quick question for. Well, how big of an area did they need in touch? You were just mentioning.
They actually have, you got several different locations where they've built homes and it was county owned property. And I don't know how much county owned property Fulton County has that is suitable for housing development, but
Gotcha. Okay, cool, okay. Got it, know if it's one big area or not, okay.
All right, moving on to our website research project. As you know, last month we heard from Betsy Emery, who presented the final report to the IDA. Betsy also presented the report for the CRG board during their March meeting. I believe Sue may have updates for us.
So right now I'm trying to set up the next joint meeting with all 5 entities, looking like early May for that. Seth is going to be the representative, Seth Brown, the representative from the CRG. So we'll have one person from each group of the 5 groups, and then Ron and Scott as our executive directors. And Emery, Betsy has agreed to participate. So that she can answer questions. So more to come after our meeting in early May.
Okay,
That's the only thing that would be discussed as, because that's the only
The
goal
portal,
that got
yeah.
achieved at the box. So it's basically, this is what we have, this was gonna cost.
Yeah.
How are we going to move forward with it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or, as we move forward.
I mean, I'm a little nervous because the price tag was a little big.
Because it's 50,000, right? Yeah. We'll put on the party, yeah.
But I think a lot of good things did come out of this project. So we'll see if we can get the entities on board with sharing the cost and if we wanted to move forward with it.
Okay, yeah, I hope there's more participation.
okay. All right, continuing on to the old business, our Decker Drive, the expansion project, have not heard from, the Weston Group, as of late. As you know, they were also looking to purchase, an additional 3 acres of property within the Crossroads Park. I haven't heard anything. Kara, have you heard anything from?
No,
the group? Okay. All right,
And Scott, when that, is that gonna be combined to the other site, or is that gonna be a separate parcel?
yeah, so, when I spoke to the Weston Group, I mentioned to them, that they should reach out to Dave Fox, the code enforcement officer for the city of Gloversville, just to explain what they propose to construct on that property. Again, I think I mentioned that to me, it sounds like it would be an accessory use. And unless they did combine that, with the other property that's already constructed, I'm not sure that they would be able to build that. Can't really have an accessory use without a primary or principal use, they call it. So I said, make sure you speak to Dave Fox first, because the city of Gloversville would be the ones that would require them to, but haven't heard anything since. Okay, moving on to our National Grid, Rotterdam, the Ingrams to Rotterdam Transmission Upgrade Project.
Am I allowed to sit and listen? Or do I need to bill you?
Kara?
I think at this point, you can say.
Okay, so as you know, there were some negotiations back and forth with a company called Canacre, who is representing National Grid on acquiring sites for laydown areas, et cetera. Canacre provided the IDA with an agreement that was based upon a certain dollar figure, which should be in your agenda. It would be a 40-month term, providing a lump sum payment of $293,000. And as you recall, in order for the IDA to lease property to Canacre or National Grid, we had to have an appraisal done. So we did that. Since that appraisal, Kara and I have met with the city of Johnstown. As you know, we have the intermunicipal agreement with the city of Johnstown for the Johnstown Industrial Park. And with that, there was a consensus to renegotiate with Canacre. And you see in your agenda of the 5 items that was sent to Canacre regarding the lease term and the lump sum payment. Recently, Canacre got back to Kara and they agreed to those terms. So the terms would be a 40-month term. There would be a $500,000 payment in lump sum for the 40-month term. And then if there were additional months needed, each month will be at $12,500 per month. Also requiring, in this case, because National Grid / Niagara Mohawk would be paying all of the real property taxes based upon the tax rates, which are estimated at $32,560. And then also including a performance bond. In your packet, I provided you with a spreadsheet. Some of you are already looking at it. To go over. So on the left, we have the various lots, lot A, B, and C. As you know, lot C at 6.4 acres. That piece of property was purchased by the IDA directly, and technically is not part of the Johnstown Industrial Park as it pertains to the intermunicipal agreement that we have with the city of Johnstown. That intermunicipal agreement, if you recall, notes that 93% of any lease or lot sales go directly to the city of Johnstown, and then the remaining 7% come directly to the IDA for an administrative fee. So based upon that, where A and B fall under the intermunicipal agreement terms, C does not. You'll see on the far right, the net to the city and the net to the IDA for this 40-month lease payment. That is also to be paid upfront. So we have a couple of actions here, and within your agenda, there is first a resolution approving and authorizing a lease of real property, which I will ask Carol to be with you. And then the second is another request to approve a short-term lease agreement. I'll also ask Carol to discuss this.
Okay, so the first resolution is for the approval of the lease. And so the requirements of this resolution are twofold under public authorities law. One, because the lease is by negotiation, not through like a bidding process. And so in order to do a lease by negotiation, you have to make a finding that it's in the economic best interest of the community and the county. And so we've included language in here that, you know, indicates that the project itself, the reason for the lease, will promote economic development. They're upgrading, expanding the existing infrastructure. In addition, we're required to do this resolution under public authorities law because the value of the lease term over a year period will exceed $15,000. And that's what triggers the requirement to notify various state officials. And so that is where that 90-day notice comes in because of the value of the lease. You're not leasing it for less than fair market value. So there's no other additional findings that you need to make regarding a lease for less than fair market value. It actually exceeds the fair market value. So there's no issue there with that. So that's what this resolution says. We have the lease agreement. It's in a format that is mostly acceptable, except for the terms that Scott discussed that will be changing, the price, the bond, the insurance, and the real property taxes.
Any other questions on the resolution?
Scott, are they planning on using the structure that's there, the 30 by 60? Or are they just gonna tear that down and?
Nope, they're not planning on using that to my knowledge. They're actually planning on mostly to use the larger parcel, which is the 19.7 acre parcel. But they expressed interest in leasing all three for whatever reason. Just a couple other things about the lease. Again, it's drafted in such a way that the improvements that they make to the site, like they're going to put in an access drive, they're going to obviously bring in, you know, stone and clearing, stripping the topsoil, all of those types of things. They're going to be bringing in power, obviously. So in the lease agreement, it states that the IDA and city shall have the option to require Niagara Mohawk to either restore to previous or to leave as is. So we have the option to leave it because, you know, it could be a benefit to the developability of the site, so.
How does it address the options if they go beyond 40
It'll be a per month
per month?
rental of 12,500. Plus the continued payments of the real property taxes.
But we're not obligated to extend.
That.
I don't think they'd go much beyond 40 months, but I wouldn't want it to be 5 years. No, that we do 12 more 1 month extensions.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't think we actually addressed that.
No, we did.
Stopped
We can
at
add, like with IDA consent and see what they said.
that. Yeah,
No, 1, 2, 3 months, yeah, acceptable. I wouldn't want to tie it up for another
right,
12 to 24 months.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
agreed. Yep, great point.
City would take money though.
I was gonna say.
Yes.
It's 25 every month.
We would get $300 and
50-year lease.
So,
I'm not saying we would say no, but I just looked at the option in there.
well, I mean, you have a point in that.
If someone came and said, hey, I'm interested in 20-acre site and I like that one.
Yeah, no, exactly. We would definitely, in my opinion, we want to sell at that point, right? Develop it, so,
Yeah, we'll have to have some and.
yeah, okay, good point, Mike, thank you.
Oh, it's the banker.
Yeah.
All right,
Gotta have a third.
if there are no further questions, let's have a motion to approve a 40-month lease agreement with Niagara Mohawk Power Corporation, contingent upon compliance with Public Authorities Law, Section 2897, and authorizing the chair or executive director to execute the lease agreement subject to the approval of the agency's legal counsel as to form and content.
I'll make that motion.
Dan?
I'll second.
Joe Gillis. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion, and then one abstention.
Nicely done, kid.
And second is a concept of a short-term lease agreement. Now, based upon our 90-day timeline, in order for National Grid to access the site, that would fall on July 14th. National Grid desires to have access to the site on July 1st. They want access to the site because obviously they have to put in the curb cut, strip the topsoil, get things ready, plus they've already ordered materials to be delivered. So, with that, Kara is proposing that we execute a short-term lease agreement if you would like to, for a daily rate of $402.23 per day. And any further comments on that?
This would be a short-term license agreement, so we'd have to include language in there that says it's revocable at your discretion, so it doesn't really meet the requirements of a true lease. But this would give them access for those 2-week periods before the 90 days expires.
Yeah.
But they would still have to provide the insurance, and they'd have to provide everything that they were gonna provide under the lease, but we would just have it for this 2-week period till the lease kicked in.
Do we have to update our insurances or anything like that with this, or we're covered?
I believe it would be covered, but I can verify that.
Okay.
They would, I believe our insurance would require IDA to be additionally
Right,
insured.
yeah.
Policy, so
Mhm.
we'd be covered that way.
We'll have the city name too.
Yeah, and the city as well, correct, yeah. So Kara, the motion would be to approve a third-term license agreement, not lease.
Yeah, like,
So we'll make a correction in the motion. That should read to approve a short-term license agreement. with Niagara Mohawk Power Corporation at a rate of $402.23 per day, commencing July 1, 2026 to July 13th, 2026, for site access and staging purposes for the 3 properties on Opportunity Guys. Would somebody like to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Joe Semio, is there a second?
I'll second.
Mike, further discussion on the motion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Noes, abstentions?
One abstention.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving right along, our T-bills, had some discussion on, our T-bills as of late, attached in the agenda, or within the agenda, you'll see our current status, of the T-bills. You see that, T-bill 3 and 4, okay, are, going to have a maturity rate that are pretty close to one another. And we have discussed in the past, combining T-bills. We discussed in the past, T-bills with an extended time frame, because of the decline in rates. So I think at this point, we're continuing that discussion. I did speak to Kevin Corkery, who manages our T-bills at the moment, about the differences and whether or not we should combine, not combine, lock in at a longer term, shorter term. In regards to combining, it's really basically just how it's managing the T-bills, obviously. There's really no benefit to combining them. So that's really up to us, I guess, to navigate. And the interest rates, again, he doesn't see any increasing, so maybe locking it in a longer term would be better. But so that's basically the feedback. I know that Joe Semio has also had some discussions with other banks. And unfortunately, Kevin wasn't able to make it today, but go ahead, Joe.
Is it okay if I invite the other person to come to our next meeting? Because he has offered to be here, first of all, he'd be here at 8 o'clock. And he thinks that we can do a little bit better for a longer length of time. Yes, it might have to be some kind of business transactions through the bank, of course, but right now it's all with MBT. But I think we should at least listen to his presentation, because he's saying we can lock in rates as far as 10 years. And renegotiate if things go up. So, you know, we can pick his brain as to what he says. So, I mean, because these rates could plummet down to 1 or 2%, you know? And he said right now, he felt that, you know, if they're going to expire in May, you know, to have him come in, give his presentation, then we can make a decision based on that.
Okay. And that, Joe, the bank, the Citizens?
Citizens Bank,
Citizens.
yes. Yep.
So I guess, yeah, you have 3 options. One, have, representative citizens come at your next meeting. 2, we could schedule a finance committee meeting, and have them go attend the finance committee and report back to the board. Or 3, obviously, is to do nothing. So that's what's the consensus of the board.
I really think with the finance committee, you know, because it's.
I'm fine with that. I mean, I'm part of that committee too, so.
I mean, we have,
Makes sense.
we have, you know, we have the 2 maturing here, relatively quickly, and our next meeting is May 12th, so we're definitely, I believe we're gonna want to take some kind of action on May 12th of renewing or something, right? So,
So have citizens meet with the finance
Yeah,
committee, and
before
then
that.
at the meeting on the 12th, the finance committee puts forth a recommendation
Yes.
for how to handle either these 2 that are renewing, or all of it, or focusing on the 2 that are
yeah,
renewing.
I think it's gonna be an open discussion about all of the T-bills, right? And how to invest them and different options, I think, right? So,
I don't necessarily think that we should be all with one bank and, we should kind of split the money up a little bit and that way you're getting the best of all worlds.
So you're saying that it's possible that we would have two T-bills with one bank and two with another? Okay.
I've seen a lot of places. I mean, at the end of the day, this is rate shopping, right? And I know you're talking about, well, if you do relationships, they'll all say that. But at the end of the day, it's rate shopping. So there's an advantage to when these come out to shopping around. It's just who's going to do that, right? And I think that's where, from a finance committee, what we need to do is say, are we changing not just who we do this with when we do it, but how we look at these? Is there a different process that we want to do? Do we want to shop rates, or do we want to be, devoted to a specific entity because that's a relationship building? So I think we take that back to finance committee, come back with a few different options for the board to say, yeah, this makes sense.
It might, like you said, it might not be T-bills, it might be
It
CDs.
could be CDs,
Probably if it was
These are
yeah,
insured though.
but we can talk about that.
I'd like the finance committee to consider, I'm gonna call it maintenance on these. I mean, we've been chasing the rate for the last couple of years, so it feels like every month we're talking about the T-bills and we're making a decision, and we were doing 3 months and we're doing 9 months and we're doing 12 months. And
Right.
And I think that worked out in the short term, but now rates have kind of come back down to reality. And I'd like us to consider, like a long-term plan, not something that is gonna be a revolving door every month or every 3 months or whatever. And not necessarily chase the best quarter of a percentage, but make it easier from a maintenance standpoint, from a managing standpoint.
That's what I think we might be able to get through Citizens, what they're offering, having a 10-year rate at maybe 3.5 or so. And
I wouldn't want to lock it in for 10 years.
Tens a lot.
he made it sound like, he's taking it out.
Yeah.
It's more like a money market thing, but he'll explain it. But also if things went back up to 5-6%. They say we should renegotiate.
I mean,
things.
10 years seems excessive. But
Uh,
that's
and
why
we can
we're
talk
asking
to
the
them.
finance committee to
Yeah.
look at it.
Yeah, you can talk.
Yeah, I have several questions too, so.
Okay.
So I will,
Right, we got in the T-bills because rates were as low as
Right,
you've ever
tanked.
seen them, right? And this was an opportunity within our investment policy, something safe that we could get into.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
we should relook at it because it's been a number of years since we first got into that.
yeah, just as on your T-bill status report, just so you can look back at the on the second page, back in 2022, you started investing. The interest rate back then was 2.3%. 2.9 for T-bills 1, 2, 3. So
But I think the money market was like 50 basis points.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, I think also,
Well, and then it's been 4 years or whatever, so maybe we look at a 5-year plan. 10 seems excessive. Being that we're already, looking at something different, so the market's changed, life changes, I think 10 is excessive.
and I'm not sure if you recall when we had Amy Pedrick from the Weston Company here, there was a topic of, I guess it was long-term investment. Remember we didn't have any long-term,
No, you don't have anything.
It's over a year.
but we would if we went, I don't know what the impact of that is in the audit.
It
I
would,
don't think the CDs.
the other thing is on your asset side of your balance sheet, anything under 12 months shows as a current asset, and anything over 12 months would be a long-term asset.
Okay,
So it just changes what line it's on. It
Yes.
doesn't
Yeah.
have-
so nothing else.
It would still be liquid, it would still be available. It's just where they would place it versus current and long-term.
Mhm.
Okay, all right. Okay. All right, so I will coordinate with the finance committee to meet, and Joe, you're on the finance committee, so we'll rely on you for whatever time we can meet, coordinate that with your contacts if needed.
And it says we can't do certain amount in T-bills, certain amount in
You can do
CDs.
this,
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right, on to new business, the Haley's at Tryon. I did provide you with a copy of our the lease agreement that we've used. in the past. As I noted earlier, R&R Farms has continued to want to utilize the vacant property of Tryon. It has reduced in size. Previously, we leased 95 acres. And now we are down to 41 because of the pending sale of the 50-acre tract for our Niagara project. Based upon that, at $30 an acre, there would be two payments of $615 each. And you can see that the attached map is where the properties would be utilized for this lease. There's 6 little parcels and sections of land that have been utilized so far. Primary, all accessed off of County Highway 158. Okay.
The 3, 4, 5, and 6, that's pretty much where we talked about. No, that's doesn't include we might have housing.
Yep.
Further, right?
Yep, that's that tract of land that we discussed.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Yep.
I see the house.
3 and 4 basically.
3 and
but,
4 there. Yep, okay.
5 and 6 could be a part of that as well.
Yep, okay, that's easy.
And in this lease agreement, it does talk about Stanley Enterprises, and I believe, and it talks about, if we're able to sell those tracts. All right, would somebody like to make a motion to authorize the chair to sign a lease agreement with R&R Farms?
I'll make that motion.
Ray, is there a second?
I'll second.
Dan, any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carried.
You don't have one, have you?
I just do a simple agreement with them and believe it's already here, so we will. Second is Tryon Technology Park mowing. Again, provided you with a request for quotes. Been doing this for some time, well, ever since we really I've been working with Stanley Enterprises. As you know, they've been reimbursing the IDA for the mowing expenses for some time. This has also changed significantly in the areas of Tryon that we have mowed. If you go to the last page where the map is, just so you have an understanding. The green areas are what we're requesting to have mowed. The red areas obviously are under construction, which is identified in the key, so that prospective bidders understand. Also, there's additional lands kind of toward the left of the map there around the Vireo and the pond. Those are all owned by the county sewer district, so those are also mowed in-house, and they do a finish mowing on that. So one of the changes that I've made based upon the reduction in the amount of mowing and brush hogging, we're not having any brush hogging done now. I've asked that all of these areas be finish mowed. Okay, so they're going to be out there every other week, finish mower, not once a month on a brush hog. I just think as this park is being developed, we're going to have a new tenant here. I think we need to have things look a little bit better and have better feel overall. So I'm asking them to provide a proposal on, I believe it's 10 or 11 finish mowing. And the schedule, approximate schedule is located in the RFQ. There's 10 of them, starting on or around May 20th. I have sent out the request for quotes to those that have provided quotes in the past. There's also one additional one. I forget the name of them. They're based out of Amsterdam, actually. And I've asked that the quotes be provided on May 8th, in time for your next meeting. So again, when Stanley has agreed to continue to reimburse the IDA, if that's how we would like to proceed.
We using part of that grant to take down the complex of buildings?
Yep.
And if that, do they need to mow that?
This year, yes, because there's no way we'll make that project will be a next year project
Yep, okay.
for sure.
Good to know, yeah.
Yeah, so I figured we'll just do the finished mowing this year and that site, and then next year that'll probably change.
Okay.
All right, so there's no real action to take on that at the moment. That's just an FYI.
If you've not driven past the project, you should, because.
Right.
I think it was horrible.
Yeah.
And I drove through it yesterday, and of course I grew up there, so.
Yeah,
And I drove through there, I remember picking berries there, a little kid, and to see that, I know it's progress, but.
Yeah.
Progress,
They-
good job.
Yeah,
Berries don't pay the bills, but.
I was like, how they did back then.
You know-
That was a bag.
You gotta have a little ugly during construction.
Oh, that was.
Just gotta have a little.
A little ugly.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I was on site yesterday,
Amazing.
and met with Choke's project manager, and he took me for a little tour in his Bobcat. And we got up on the site where they're cutting. And it's just amazing. I mean, right now they're cutting in 3 sections, like the section closest to the entrance road is about where the level grade is. So if you do drive in there and you see that first flat section, that's about where the grade will be. And then they go up like 10 feet and then it goes up like another 10 feet. And it's just amazing. Right now, they're not even halfway done with the cutting of that site. So as you know, all of the soils are going right across to the other property, which has changed significantly as well. Yesterday, we also met with Dave Rhodes, if you recall. I had emailed around that they've been looking for topsoil.
Yep.
The project manager out there and Dave and I met. We showed them the location of the topsoil area, which is near that building 3 complex. So they will start hauling topsoil pretty soon here. They requested 500 cubic yards. They'll take as much as they can get. There's a lot of topsoil there. Right now, actually, I was a little surprised. The project manager was eager to have the topsoil be moved because it's more or less in their way. They keep having to push it farther away. So he basically indicated takes as much as you can. But I said, well, listen, you've only got approval of 500 cubic yards so far, but I may be coming back to you if they do want to take more topsoil. And the reason being, every spring per the DEC's requirement for the landfill, during the fall, they're obviously filling up the landfill, and they have to every spring stabilize the sides with grass, right? They have to plant grass. So when spring comes, they've lifted it up however many feet or whatever around that whole cell that they're doing. They have to put topsoil on it and then seed it to stabilize it as they continue to go up. So Mr. Rhodes noted that every spring it becomes very problematic finding topsoil. So
Is it, how big are their trucks, 20,
I think like 15.
15? So
Yeah,
I figure we're
15.
talking about 30 truckloads.
Yeah, they'll be taking quite a few truckloads.
That's not much.
He said it'll take them a while, just because right now they only have 1 truck that they can use. I suggested that they contact the highway department, maybe get a second one, but, so what the solid waste department is going to do is, they're bringing over their track hoe. They're gonna load their own trucks from this pile to stay out of the way of the main project, so that, so that's working out well. Okay, I didn't have anything else, for you this morning.
Can we get an update on the power up?
Yep. The power up, we are still in a waiting pattern for an announcement. I'm hopeful that announcement will be made this week from ESD. But I'm not sure. They said last time we spoke to ESD, they were thinking mid-April. That's all I know of them.
And do we have concerns if it doesn't?
Yeah.
Probably good.
Yeah. I definitely have concerns.
I mean, like, if bank comes in, they haven't made any announcements, you can't push them to do anything. But-
Yeah, no, it's,
But this project means we have to have it.
yeah,
And if we don't, then
Yep.
we would mess in.
yeah. Yeah, you're right. There's a grave concern there. I'm very hopeful. I believe it's going to happen. I think it just takes time for the state to announce things but, once I hear, I'll let you all know.
Does it ever not happen in the history of the state?
Well, we were one of the very first power up applications made. I don't know if they've even had an
Oh, okay.
word on it yet,
Oh.
though.
Yeah.
The brand new side, it's a brand new, program. We, you know,
I
the
know
Fast
it's
New
in the
York
criteria.
grant, it's been around for a little while, but,
We got one of them.
so, yeah, we'll be one of the first announcements, hopefully.
The state is very slow right now in processing even approved projects. We've had some grant projects at the bank that we're gonna pay off the bank loan that we've had to extend for 6 months to get the state. Whoever needs to sign off to sign off.
Well, no more telling us that.
Well, I must say that the contacts we have at ESD have been great. They really have, our contacts, the ones. Obviously, it has to go up the chain of command for signature and things, but they've been really great to work with, so very helpful.
No, I'll stay positive too, but I just know that a lot of our projects have not come to fruition, whether it's been Win Stanley saying this one is gonna come, we counting money, it seems, and nothing happens, and again, we're talking a good chunk of change. As soon as we get that, then all the signatures get signed and then
Yep,
money gets transferred.
yeah, our grant request was for around $17 million.
Speaking of projects, is the solar project dead in the water? Have we heard anything back or are we?
Yeah, I have not heard anything whatsoever from Nexus. I know Kara hasn't, because she would have told me,
Yeah.
so.
Can we just give them or have we already done like a final notice? If we don't hear from you by, and maybe we will,
Well, nothing's in effect, right? Everything is
nothing, but
expired.
we just wanted to say that we're going to move on, that we no longer want to have a
Is it
deal with that.
necessary?
I mean, there's nothing, and if they came back, they'd be like starting over with their request to us,
So we're under no obligation.
right?
Yeah,
Everything is
So-
expired, all the options that we had in place are expired.
And then I guess
It would
as
say
a board, we
grant on
need
the
to
paper.
decide, do we want to try and
Get somebody
involved with
else.
someone
Yeah,
else?
yeah.
Is that what we wanted to do with those lands? And if so, then we should,
I thought that's what we were going to try to reach out to other possible.
yeah, I think the way we left it a couple meetings ago was we're gonna continue to make one last ditch effort with Nexus.
I think you've done
Obviously,
that.
we've done
They're
that.
not coming back.
Last month we
Yeah.
had our busy agenda with
I know.
other things as well, but I will put it on the agenda for next month, for sure. And if you would like me to, reach out to a couple of other companies, I can do so, because we have plenty of solar projects running around. If you'd like to,
Yeah.
there's a couple of them that may have an interest, so, okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
and then the Brownfield Developer Summit is coming up.
Yep, next Tuesday and Wednesday.
I historically have gone, I won't be able to go this year, so if anyone would like to go.
Yep.
And you're a presenter, right?
Yep,
On day
I'm,
2?
I'm a presenter on day 2, the first session of capital stacking. So I will be there, obviously. You can go right on the site. It's, there's a code.
I have the code if you need it.
Yeah, there's a code that
I don't remember what it was.
will get you in for free.
1, 2, 3, 4.
It's a simple code, but I'm not gonna say what it is and, it's present, but if you have an interest, yeah, by all means, reach out to me and I can get you that code, so. Okay, if nothing else, our next meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, May 12th. Would somebody like to make the motion to close the meeting at 9:22?
I'll make the motion.
I like it.
Is there a second?
I guess.
All right, Dan.
And
All in favor, say aye.
Today.
No.
All right, good.